Hey, good morning, everybody.
Hey guys, I'm still setting up my crap here on Facebook. I ain't
she's
got it together.
she's still getting set up on Facebook, but I wanted to go live on YouTube because I saw there was a couple of you guys waiting in here, so I just wanted to say good morning. And if you're there, just say something so we know. Say hi. Oh man, it is such a good morning, and it didn't start out that way.
It's funny how that works out.
But it's
Okay,
funny though, because like nothing really happened. Pockets, good morning. Thank you so much for joining.
hi Pockets, what's up?
Oh, I need to take a dish down. I kicked it. I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but I'm kind of messy, and
I'm very
I have
messy. You
like
can see my desk right
dishes.
now.
Well, I had a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of coffee cups up here. Don't tell my mom.
She's like, I heard you, Jessica.
I know. I
Okay,
did, but
I why? I'm trying to get I need to get this like little tag so that I don't get in trouble for using music on
hey, grown
Facebook.
up. Yeah,
Hey, what's
Sean's
up?
here. Hello, Sean. Good morning.
What's crack-a-lackin', brother?
I know, right? Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I finally got my act together, guys.
No, you're good.
Okay. Okay, I did that.
She's too
I
hard on
actually
herself.
I just don't know what to do with myself.
I love that
Okay.
song. That actually reminds me
I
of
just don't
my
know
best friend's
what
wedding.
to do with myself. I love that
I do
movie.
too. I
I
know.
literally watch it every time it's on.
I
Like
watched it
anytime
a
it's on,
billion
I watch
times.
it.
Like my
It's
cousins, we would
so
always watch that
good.
movie. That
Okay,
was
I'm gonna
like one
hit.
of our favorites.
Oh wait, Crystal. I did it again, Jessica.
Oops, I
I did
did
it.
it again.
So those YouTube people out there getting exclusivity. That's not the right
Oh
word.
my goodness.
Exclusivity. Okay,
You're so funny.
so
I love you.
I'm just gonna go main. Oh,
Exclusivity.
I j- somebody just got lots of sound on the air end.
Oh no. Oops.
Hi y'all, Facebook land. Oh wait, I don't
Hi,
even think we're
Facebook.
live on Face. I don't think we're even live on Facebook.
No?
No, I screwed it up again.
Oh, stop it.
It's okay because we're already live on YouTube, so I'm just like going for it.
Okay.
It's all good.
You're fine.
All right, y'all.
We have some good things to talk about, though. Like, I mean,
Really do.
so I wanted to kind of like just mention what I did this morning. And like, I do this kind of
Yeah.
a lot, but you don't have to listen to me right now. Get your thing going. But I wanted to talk to people about, like, in the morning, what we talked about before about tuning your instrument to, like, be positive for the day. Like, I wrote down the things that I actually do and say. Finally, I put it down, like, in words. But I think it'll be helpful because it helped me, and it helps me every morning, too. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to begin to like go over this. But this morning I wasn't in that great of a mood. I was just kind of feeling like, meh, blah, like not negative, but more like neutral, just kind of like meh. And so I take my coffee and I go outside and I stand in the sun, like facing towards the sun with my eyes closed, and I like allow that sun to just like pierce through. And then that's when I just try to say things like, don't think about what this day will bring. Don't think about what's going to happen. Don't think about anything but this moment. Only focus on what this moment is. And what is this moment? This moment is warmth and love and peace. And so if you say that to yourself out loud, you know, don't think about this day, think about this moment, and this moment is warmth, love, and peace. And that helps to really like kind of like soak it all up, soak up that sun, soak up that positive vibe of that energy, and really just allow yourself to be in that moment. But recognize too that that moment spans out for the entire day if you allow it. And it can span out for the entire month if you allow it. And the year, because today this month and this year is always this moment. It's always now. And that's why we named the podcast this, because we wanted to bring you guys back to the center of this moment. So I'm appreciative of the people who share this moment with me. Crystal and Arlene's here, Sean's here, Pockets is here, whoever else is here that hasn't said anything. I appreciate you guys sharing this moment with me. And, you know, it's a beautiful life, and I really love you guys. So that's kind of what I went through this morning, and I'm getting like teary-eyed. I'm like, oh, I love you guys so much. But yeah, so that's just how I have been practicing tuning my instrument to positivity for the day, and trying to do that every day. And it's not easy sometimes, but if you just allow yourself to let go of the stress of what you think might happen during the day and kind of recenter yourself in the moment, then you'll feel a peace, and then you can be like, okay, I can do this. So
Yes. No, it's true, because was that yesterday? I don't know. I had like a really rough day yesterday. I think that was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. I don't know. I was just feeling overwhelmed and feeling just this really bad energy, and I didn't really know what was wrong. And I attributed it to lack of sleep, which is probably for sure. And then I started my whole day late.
Yeah.
And I felt like nothing was getting accomplished. And so I just felt like crap all day. And then you said, did you go outside? Did you put your feet in the ground? Have you grounded yourself today? I was like, no.
Yeah.
So, you know, although I woke up in a really good mood this morning and felt really good, you suggested that I still go outside and stick my feet in the ground. And so I did. And I could just, it was just amazing. And it was only for like a few minutes, but like, it was still dark outside here. And I could hear the birds. And some random guy walked by and was kind of like, ah! It kind of scared the crap out of me at first, because I wasn't expecting anybody outside that early in the morning. But there he was. Wonderful time to go walking, actually. So I need to do that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I took my shoes off and put my feet like right in the ground, in the grass out front.
That's so good.
Closed my eyes and just listened. And it was so peaceful. It was so nice. And it just energized me to come back. And I mean, I'm always excited to do our show.
I am too, but it's like, at least for me, because I don't have grass to stick my feet into over here. I have rocks. But
you got rocks.
I don't think about that. I think about, I have the sun, and the sun shines upon my face, and I allow it to blind me. Like, I literally face the sun with my eyes closed, and I just like allow it to just pierce through, and I soak it all up. And then I'm like, okay, the sun shines upon all of our faces. So, you know, I think about that, and I say that out loud. And it's just a great way to tune yourself. Like, it's been helping me every morning. And, you know, I don't get to do it every morning, or I don't think to do it every single morning. And I notice a difference when I don't do it. And it's like, you know, it's huge. So
definitely huge.
Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, because this morning it totally set me good. Like, I was just like kind of meh, you know, but now I'm good. I'm happy, and I'm blessed to be here and share this moment.
And it's so good to like just because like sometimes you dream of stuff that is not good or whatever. Like, go outside and reset yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So that you're ready for the day.
I hate bad dreams.
I've been having a lot of vivid dreams lately, so like I just feel tired sometimes when I get up. And actually this whole week I've been getting up late, and I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna get up on Wednesday. What if I don't get up? What if I miss our show? Now, of course, there's my mom and David who would be like, yo, you gotta get up, like, why are you still sleeping? So I know that like I'll be okay. But there was one Wednesday where I was like counting on that safety, and I forgot like David didn't have to work that day, so he was all sleeping in, and I'm like, wait a second, I get up. And I'm thinking like, you know, oh, it's still early, he's still in bed because he has to go to work. No, it messed me up, but it was good. I still got up. But this is like the day I make sure we should probably do this every day so I can get up early.
I know. Good morning, Robert.
Go to bed early.
Robert says, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
It is a great morning.
Thanks for tuning in. So, I had something happen this week that kind of like stimulated this conversation of talking about like how to deal with what people think about us as people. And I it was really hard because I've had a lot of experience where I've been very concerned about what others think.
Yeah.
And
I know that's something that you
not
struggle with. You think about it a
it
lot.
is, but it's not like I care what they think as like I care if they feel like I hurt them. I care if they feel like I did something wrong to them, and I want to fix it. Like it like takes over my whole body. I need to fix it. I need to fix it. And sometimes you can't fix something that somebody feels. Obviously, you can't make somebody feel differently than they feel. I mean, you can try to explain your side of it, but you can't change if somebody's mad at you for whatever reason they are or feels or whatever they feel. That's on them, and we got to step back. But um, in particular, there was an incident. I'm on a lot of little fan pages, whatever. I'm a fangirl. I like my nerdy stuff. But one girl was sharing she like tattooed herself, which is crazy. I would never do that.
She did it
But good,
herself?
she tattooed herself,
Oh,
and
no.
not a little tattoo. It was like a big tattoo, which
Well, did it look
honestly,
good?
I mean, it didn't look bad. I just
Okay.
you definitely could tell she's learning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I thought, you know what, good for her. You know, it's her right to do that. It's
Yeah.
her body, her talent, whatever she wants to do. It's her deal. But I was very surprised, especially in this particular group, how many people were like really mean to her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were saying horrible things to her. Like first, they were most of them were saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't tattoo yourself because you can't get the right angles," which is a nice way to put that they didn't like think she was doing a good job, so she should have someone help her finish.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, you probably couldn't draw your best on yourself depending upon the angle or what body part you're drawing on. Um, and it's permanent, so like some people have an opinion about that. But
Mm-hmm.
this one guy, he said, "This is garbage. It looks like a kindergartner did it." And I was and I was like, "Oh no." So I got mad and I was like, Do you think that is necessary to say?" And he said, "Yes, I do." And I was like, "Well, I don't think ever being mean this way is never necessary. I mean, it's not constructive at all." And I'm like, "She's not even going to hear you. What you said, she's not going to hear you. All you're going to do is probably hurt her feelings." And he told me that tattooing herself was wrong. It's illegal. And what did he say? He said she's not licensed. She shouldn't be tattooing. Which I don't even know how he would know if she's licensed or not, but whatever. That she shouldn't be doing that. It's permanent, blah blah blah. And we need to stop this behavior. And I'm not going to allow this behavior to happen. Like I need to speak up because this behavior needs to stop. And then it got me thinking about how people use things to justify their own behavior to badmouth someone else and
Mm-hmm.
to make somebody else feel bad. And basically everybody's just like, "Who hurt you?" to this guy. Like, "Why are you being such a butthole?" And he was nonstop and he said, "I'm not going to apologize. I think she did crap work and she shouldn't have done it," and blah blah. So I basically was like, "Girl, this is your body. You do you. Don't worry. I hope that you don't let this person or any of these other people take that passion or drive away. You keep doing you." And she was like, "Thank you for sticking up for me." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't like people who have to troll and say mean things." And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, that's on the internet. That guy probably felt like he could do that because he's behind a screen, and we call them what, keyboard warriors. They think that they can talk trash on people and make people feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in reality, he's probably just projecting because maybe deep down he wants to be a tattoo artist and he's jealous that she's doing it.
Or maybe
Who
he's
knows?
just a narcissist.
Or
And,
that too.
the thing is that, like, this is kind of something that I was writing about, recognizing your own demons. That thing that I mentioned to you before.
Yeah.
How do you recognize your own demons and things like that? And really think about, like, what you need to work on or what you need to let go of. And I won't go into it too much because I'm still working on it, but that's something that's been on my mind is how do you recognize your own demons, or how do you confront someone, you know, who's struggling with using a demon? You know, like, you know what I mean. I'm not talking literal spirit demons that, like,
No, you're just
you
talking
know,
about people who do
who,
stuff
well,
that
okay.
is
Yeah,
not
I'll
good
make
for
a
them and
video
not good
about
for
that.
anybody around it.
Yeah, I'll make a video about that once I'm finished with, like, you know, refining it and making it make sense to people. Um,
Yeah.
but but it's like one of those things where people use guilt tripping to get what they want, or they use manipulation to get what they want, and those things are not constructive at all. And we have to think, like, instead of saying, oh, you know, you're a shitty person for not doing this or doing this the wrong way or whatever, why don't we think about, like, a more positive and constructive way to communicate with one another and build one
Yeah.
another up with love and encouragement. Encouragement goes so much further than guilt tripping and all of that. Like, I actually watched a show.
Shaming and guilt tripping don't work.
There's a show called 100 Humans, and they do all these, like, experiments, and they're social experiments. They're, you know, like, physical things that they have to do, or whatever. They give them tasks or whatever. So it's a really good show because it pointed out and it made it very clear how encouraging someone, even if they're not doing a good job, they will do so much better the next time than they did before because they were encouraged. But even, like, discouraging someone who was doing amazing, they'll do shittier the next time. So it's like, we really have to be conscious and mindful of the words that we're using, and how we're either lifting up our brothers and sisters or tearing them down. Because if we use positive language and we encourage people, they're going to do better without even recognizing it, without even really, like, thinking about it. So yeah, it's important.
So, I mean, I was trying to get that point across to this dude who just seemed to want to just trash talk this girl, but he wasn't having it. So sometimes you're not going to get through to people, and people are just going to be stuck in their ways and be angry and bitter and want to make people feel bad.
And
so
that's where he is, you know, if he's even a real person. Like, I question a lot on the internet. I always look at people like, are you even a real person? Because there's a lot of fake accounts that are, we were just talking
stirring
about
the pot. Yeah,
there's a lot of fake accounts that are, like, bot accounts that just comment randomly on things, and it's really weird, but it exists. So we need to be really, like, mindful too that we're not arguing with a robot.
There's a lot of I've seen it a lot, like, in business, just like fake posts, like, oh, this is such a beautiful page, come follow me. Like, it's a fake, it's not even a real comment, it's like a bot comment. So if they can do that for a business, I'm sure they can do that for any other reason that they want. I mean, I don't know. But I think, like, I mean, something that you and I have both experienced things where, you know, we felt a lot of judgment from people. Even right now, you know, there's been moments where I've confided in you and I was, like, concerned about perceptions and concerned about, you know, what people think. And then, you know, I've been thinking a lot about it. And, you know, there are going to be some people that don't love what we're doing or won't even look at it because they're prejudging what we're doing. And I know I have a tendency to worry about those particular people, and I shouldn't.
Nope.
And throughout my whole life, obviously, I mean, I had a kid at 15, so judgments were a lot made back then and even to this day. And, you know, I've struggled with that a lot. I've struggled with, like, what people think, and it's really held me back as somebody who has this drive. I have a drive, you have a drive, and I don't know that I feel like it's not a normal thing. I feel like not everybody has that drive. Some people are fine just doing the normal, like, routine, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's their thing. But I feel like I have this thing in me that I need to keep, like, every day I got to do, you know, I'm always thinking, I'm always trying to make more, I'm always trying to find ways to be innovative. I'm never stopping, and maybe that's a problem too, but
I think you overextend yourself a lot, but we talk about that sometimes. I
That's
think
true.
you
That's
definitely need to focus more on you and just reserving your energy for yourself, because you give a lot
and
of
I
yourself to a lot of people, and that's
I mean,
exhausting sometimes.
it can be.
Hmm.
But like I think that like at the end of the day though, like maybe sometimes we don't do things because we're so concerned about what everyone around us is thinking.
You know.
And we got to stop doing that because most of the time anybody who oh, first off, you're your own judger. You're the one, you're the worst what is it? You're the worst
You're your own
um
worst critic.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like in your mind you have all these voices in your head.
Hmm.
Maybe you're thinking of someone else's voice in your head, but they're telling you, no, you can't. No, 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 no. Don't do
Hmm.
that. It's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And that's really all just you telling yourself that. You're thinking everybody else is thinking these things. And you automatically assume that people are thinking these things about you or about what you're doing. And I think the best thing to do is, like you were talking about, tuning yourself. That in itself, shut everything off, get real quiet, you'll be able to see your potential. You'll be able to grow. You'll be able to do the things that you want to do that are good for you, right for you, without all that thought of judgment.
Yeah.
All those people telling you that you can't in your head.
Yeah.
Maybe people have physically said you can't do this. And most of the time, those people who are telling you that have gone out of their way to tell you you can't or you that's bad or whatever is because they have their own issues, their own insecurities, their own problems,
Yeah.
and they feel the need to tell you that you can't
So
because they're jealous.
instead of focusing on what they are saying or what you think they might say, we need
Yeah,
to focus on what you want to bring to this world. You know, you have to really find that within yourself, find what you feel like you want to bring to the world, and don't worry about what people are saying. Don't even think about what they're going to say. Just
be
make
you.
yourself happy. Make
Hmm.
yourself happy by living authentically to you. And
Right,
that's all you need to worry about is your happiness. And
right,
if you focus on that, then you're going to bring yourself happiness, and then those who whatever you're doing resonates with will also be happy because of it. So
exactly.
that's what you need to focus on. Don't focus on the world that you feel like might surround you right now. Focus on the world that you want to be. Focus on the world that you want to build, and
Exactly.
allow that to shine through. Don't let other
So
people's negative vibes flow through you and make you
exactly.
messy.
And I think that something that's very important. Now, you may have people in your surroundings that you can't really change the relationship. Like it's a permanent relationship. I don't know how to put that, but like, if you live with people and you're not going to change who you live with or whatever, you can still, if there's people that you put into your life that you choose to put into your life, you need to focus on who those
Mm-hmm.
people are. Make your circle. I mean, I think your circle should be small. Personally, I think have your close knit circle of your tribe of people who support you.
Yeah.
If you want to do something and somebody in your tribe is like, you shouldn't do that, or whatever, and they're saying those things for their own because of their own personal selfish reasons, you need to really look at that person. Now, that might be somebody that you can't detach from,
Yeah.
like physically. That might be somebody that's just going to be there all the time because maybe they're family or maybe they're your spouse. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I have a spouse that's very supportive of everything I do, all the time,
Well, it's
even
like we were
maybe
talking about before. Even I think David says this too, that the when someone says, "Oh, you can't do that," it's because they've built an invisible ceiling on themselves, and
yes,
they've put themselves into this invisible
tear the,
box.
tear
And
the roof off.
yeah, and so like, but they live with this invisible ceiling that they've put on themselves, and they're trying to
Correct.
say, "No, there's a ceiling there. You can't go there." But there
Yes,
is no ceiling. There is no limit to what we are capable of. And once you recognize the limitlessness of you, then you're going to go as far as
You
you
can
allow yourself to go.
you can do
So,
so much. I
mhm.
quoted Selena this week. I said, because she said, um, you know, always believe that the impossible is possible because it is.
It is.
And nothing is impossible. That is a limitation that we have, that's a word that we've put on ourselves to say that we can't do something.
Mhm.
And really, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything that you put your mind to, your efforts, it all can go to something that is, whatever you want. It can make stuff happen. And I believe that we do make stuff happen.
We do.
Things don't,
Every
I
day.
don't, I think, yes, some people have luck and things happen by happenstance, but most people who are trying to accomplish something, you have to put in the work. You got to make it happen. You got to do. And I think by taking away those negative thoughts of others and realizing it's okay, like whatever they're saying is on them, that's their deal. It's not my deal. I can do it. It doesn't matter what they think or
I
say.
feel like the universe will flow through you if you allow yourself to live authentically. As
Hmm.
long as you're following your truth and your happiness, things are just going to happen when they're supposed to happen naturally. And you're going to feel like energized to do those things because that's what makes you happy. And it's going to build a better world for you. It's going to make you happy. You're going to be living your truth authentically to yourself, doing what you love. And I feel like if you allow yourself to flow with the universe like that, then there's really nothing that you can do that's wrong because it's always going to be
Right.
good for you. That's how I truly
Exactly.
believe.
But not everybody agrees what's good for people, what isn't good. We don't agree,
It
and
doesn't
that's something
matter.
you got to let that
There's
go. You
always
got to
going
not
to
let.
be people who will hate on what you're doing, and there's always going to be people who love what you're doing. But the
Exactly.
most important person that you need to worry about is yourself. Do you love what you're doing? Do you love who you are?
Yes,
If you can say
exactly.
yes to those things, then you're on your way to happiness if you're not already there. So
Exactly.
it's okay. Like, we don't need to think about those people who are negative. We don't need to think about them.
Exactly.
We need to think about
Mm-mm.
ourselves. And people will say you're being selfish, you're being self-centered. It's okay to be self-centered because if you are, think about what that word is, self-centered. It doesn't mean that all you care about is yourself. It really doesn't.
No.
To be centered in yourself means that you have found your space of peace, your inner harmony.
Yes.
That is a
Yes.
good thing in my eyes. I know that it has a negative connotation with people nowadays,
It's
whatever,
societal.
but it is,
That was
it's
a
a
societal
society
thing.
thing because
And
that
think
plays into the whole thing about self-care being selfish. That's the
right.
implication that if you do anything for yourself or you take care of yourself or you take time for yourself, that you're being selfish. And I
Yeah,
know
you're a bad mom. You can't think about
it's
yourself.
bullshit. It's just all crap, and we don't
But
need to
think of
play into that game, okay? If it makes you feel guilty, it's just garbage, and you don't need to think about it.
and within your own support unit, your own tribe of
Hmm.
people, everybody should be willing to say, "Hey, you need to have time for yourself to do what you want to do today or whatever." Like everybody should work together to want that for each other because if
Hmm.
each person is getting their
Well, each person needs to find it for themselves because there's no
well,
way
I
for
know.
you to tell certain people, especially if they are, on the go all the time and they feel like they have to just constantly be doing something. That's
So,
just busy work, and that's really because they don't feel comfortable sitting still with themselves. But they need to get to that point where they feel comfortable just sitting still and being in their moment and really just silence all the voices. Don't think about what the day is going to bring. Center yourself and allow yourself to flow with the universe and do what you love and be happy because that is what this life is really about. It's not about
as
paying bills and dying.
No, and that the rat race needs to be done. We need to be over that rat race.
We
But
need
I
to
think that
stop
we
playing the
should
game. We need to stop playing
exactly.
the game of the rat race. We
We
fuel
need
it by
to. We
continuing to
do.
participate. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I
Yep.
know that it's
We
not easy for a lot of people because they're under this illusion that they have all of these,
they
and
have to have these
it's
things.
not necessarily just an illusion. I know that there is reality to it for people, but we need to get beyond the illusion that we need things to keep us happy. And the
Correct,
things,
because
I
that
know
doesn't
there's a
work.
level of things that we need in this world, right? We need shelter and we need food and we need all of that stuff. But we don't need as much as we think we do. And if we can get to that point where we can realize that things keep us enslaved to that system, that rat race system, then, if as long as you can remove yourself from the need or the want of those things, that
Yeah,
desire, then you will be happier and more free and flow. And that'll
for
allow
sure.
you to, you know, have more freedom to do what you love, because a lot of people are trapped in jobs that they hate. They go to work and they make good money, but what are they really doing with themselves? They're being miserable and,
Not
you
only
know,
that, like we think that we need these brand new shiny things, a new car, a new house, these things that, and don't get me wrong, having buying a house has some security to it that, projects for many years, and I understand the desire to want to own a house. Um but like the shiny new car thing, that's not necessary. It's really not. Um there's this misconception that new means better, that new means it won't break down. No, that ain't true. Um, but then, we get into this, you're locked in with this loan and you're locked in with these interest payments, and you now have to work to be able to pay for that thing that you bought. Otherwise they're going to take it away, right? And then you don't have it. And so if we try to find ways to, I mean, if you live in a big city, I mean, I don't live in a big city where I'm at right now, but if I did, I'd totally like either have a bicycle or walk or whatever. Like I kind of think that's cool and I love that idea. I mean, being able to just ride a bike to go wherever I need to go sounds pretty great. And it's affordable. You don't even have to have insurance for that. Like
I know.
if
I
we
know
could
that a lot
come
of people don't, they can't get past the feeling that they need
the
certain
success feeling.
luxuries. Yeah, to be successful in this world. I
Well,
have no desire for that. Like, I feel
and
like
I
I've always been a weird one, I guess.
so funny. I bought like okay, so me and David, we've both come from not having a lot of money. We weren't poor, but we didn't have a lot of money growing up. My
Hmm.
mom was a single mom, so we had to make ends meet and we had to figure it out. And it, I didn't really notice. It wasn't really a big deal to me until I got older and started making my own money and started seeing, ooh, I could buy this. Ooh, I could buy that now. Like, and I got caught up in that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if David was here, he would talk about that too, how he got caught up in it too. And we had to have these, like, the best of the best. We wanted this, we wanted that. And honestly,
It's a
like,
trap.
it's such a trap
It's a
because, yeah,
trap.
I got this rad car that I love, but did I really love it?
No,
No.
you
I mean,
hated that car.
I was like, it's really not like I could have been fine. I don't know, like having something
We
much
talked a little
cheaper.
bit about that before, about like how your new car gave you more trouble than an old car. And it's true. It's
Honestly, it's
just
so
strapping
true.
you with more payments and more,
And
more insurance.
the payment on those, because we had our cars and then we had our company cars, when I think about the amount of payments that we were paying on vehicles, it makes me want to vomit. Like I'm like, what were we thinking? And I know some people who may be watching right now are like, well, I'm already tied in, I'm already there, I can't do nothing about it. But I'll tell you, if it comes down to feeding your family, you're going to be like, buy car, because that's, unfortunately, that's where it got for me and David. It got to the point where we had to choose between paying for this shiny car or making sure that I had food to feed my kids, and obviously my kids are going to win.
It always
And
boils down to what's
it was
most
such an
important.
easy exactly, it was such an easy decision.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for this experience that I've had. Um, cuz like I said, I grew up with not a lot, and then I attained stuff, and then I lost it. And it it's such a liberating feeling, and I'm so glad that it happened. And I realize now, like, there's still some things that I have, like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, but I'm more mindful of it now. And it's just, we don't need to keep up with the Joneses. If somebody thinks we're cool because we got a brand new car, then I don't really want to know that somebody, to be
Well,
honest.
it's just
And
a level of like where your treasure lies, right? So we have to think about
mhm,
that. You know,
mhm,
if your treasure is with material possessions, then, that's great. That's all you're really going to have. But then what happens when you lose all of those things? Because it does happen to people who don't expect it, right?
yeah,
And so you've built up this like thing where you feel like that's your whole worth is with surrounding
all these
yourself with material
things.
things.
Yeah,
And that's not where the real treasure should lie for people. And well, I can't speak for other people, but for me, the real treasure lies within building yourself up spiritually, building yourself up with love, building your happiness, and not allowing anything outside to penetrate that and to tear it down, because that's the most important thing that's going to get people through the toughest of times. And really finding what's true and important for you, that's the inner work that people really need to be doing right now, especially
right.
right now. This is the time.
Actually, right now, it's such a good time to focus on yourself and to
Mm-hmm.
better yourself and do good for yourself, because if you're not good, then no one around you is good. If you've ever been around somebody that's like having a really negative, they're just really negative, it doesn't matter if there's a super positive person in the realm, that negative person sucks up a lot of that energy. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a negative energy sucker. Like, I don't want to suck people's energy out negatively. I want to be positive and bring light to them and to myself, because when you're bringing good to yourself, you're bringing good to your tribe.
Yeah.
And you know I just think that we need to stop realizing or focusing on the outside, like you said, and
Well, I got a
turn
message
inward.
from the universe yesterday, and I posted it on
Yes,
Facebook, and it
I
said,
saw.
give to yourself all that you seek from the others around you, and then give to others what you have sought and have given to yourself. So you have to give yourself what you're looking for, what you want. You think that you want love from someone, give yourself that love, you know? Give yourself all of the things that you seek from others. And then you can be that for other people once you've done it for yourself. That's how it
Yeah,
works. That's how
that's
it
exactly.
it will be a good vibration, a good energy, an energy of love to other people. You have to have that overflowing from yourself. So you have to literally fill yourself up, and then it will just automatically come out to everyone else around you. It's not like a chore at that point, because you've
And
already
I
taken care of your heart and yourself.
Yeah. And what's great is, I think most of the people that are tuning in that kind of know what we've been talking about, they are probably seeking out ways to make themselves feel better. And I'm glad you're here. Thank you guys
Yeah,
for coming here,
I
because
appreciate that.
we want to, I mean, the reason we started this journey was to make ourselves feel better.
Hmm.
Um, we were both struggling with some stuff, and we were having these really lengthy, deep conversations. And I was like, I want to share this with others so that they may be able to feel the same thing we're feeling right now. And it's this self-appreciation, this love that we're finding for ourselves. Um, and it's wonderful when you finally get to the point where you're like, no more. I'm no longer wanting to feel bad. I want to feel good. I want to be better. I want to better myself.
Hmm.
Um, and I often think about, like, how do I reach those people that are angry? How do I reach that guy that was bashing that poor girl about her tattoo? I actually, I said what I said. I tried to not be hard on him. I tried to not say things harshly to him as a person, because I know that he's only doing those things and saying those things because he's hurting and he's got something going on. So instead I responded, because a lot of people were really mean to him for being mean to the girl. And I tried not to be mean to him. I tried to just come from a place of like, if you really want to help this girl, you should choose different words. Like, I'm sorry that you feel that saying these mean things is constructive, but it's not. It's
I
really
think
not.
the most important thing for us to remember, though, is to lead by example. And if we
Yes,
want to see the change in the world, then we need to just be that
be the
ourselves.
change.
And
Yeah,
whatever people will see from us, they'll take it how they're going to take it. If it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter because it's on them. That's their journey. But if we all focus on being what we want to see in the world, and we focus on being that love and being positive and uplifting to people, instead of thinking about, oh, I need to tell this guy he needs to stop doing that to her, instead of doing that, we can just focus on excuse me, uplifting the girl and be
yes,
that good example.
be a
And
good example.
we all need to focus on being that person. We all need to focus on being that for everyone.
Because
And then it'll
people are going to
uplift people.
yeah. And people
Well,
are going to recognize that. And they're going to recognize,
yeah.
hey, why is Jessica so happy? Why is Crystal so happy?
It just
I
cuts
mean,
down
don't
on
get
the
me wrong.
negativity, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not happy all the time.
No one
But,
expects people to be positive and happy all the time, but there are
no, it's
ways
not.
to,
Be
you
more
know,
happy than normal.
well, yeah, and to, like I said when we first started the episode today, is tune yourself every morning. And the way that I do it helps me, and I hope that you guys can find help from it too. And maybe I'll make a little video about how I do it, like, when I do it, I'll take a video of it all and show you guys the things that I do and say. But, that's whatever. That's just what I do. It helps me. You might have your own way to tune yourself to a positive day, but it has to be done every morning to maintain, because
See in the morning.
maintenance, you know, it's just like an instrument. Instruments get out of tune the more you play. So,
Yep.
you have to take that into consideration. Like, keep being mindful of yourself, being mindful of what your tune is, like what vibration are you, what frequency are you vibrating at? Because if you really are mindful of yourself, then you will be able to tune yourself appropriately and to maintain that happy spirit, that grateful heart. And it will overflow, it will show. People will notice, and then you
I
can
mean,
help them by sharing what worked for you. So
exactly.
that's the key.
But I think you're right about the example. Like, okay, so going back to, like, you may have some people in your life that are there. They're there. They're not
They're
going
there.
anywhere. And they may be very negative energy or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And as long as that has nothing to do with you and you're taking care of yourself, their negative energy actually won't affect you at all.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we were just talking about that this week
Mm-hmm.
about, how, we're not going to let these people affect us anymore. We're going to, and it's all about perspective, changing your
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Plus, I think as you do this more and your reactions, you know, as you love yourself and you take good care of yourself, you won't react to those negative people like you used to,
Mm-hmm.
which in turn they'll start to notice that. It's just like when you're in school and you got a bully, right? And the bully just keeps going at you. And if you like freak out, that's what they want. That's usually what the bully thrives off. And I'm not saying these people that are, causing anybody some negative energy are bullies. They just obviously have something going on within themselves that makes them project that negativeness onto you, or they're trying to at least.
Mm-hmm.
But with a bully, like, if my mom always said, well, if you don't do anything and you ignore them, they're eventually going to stop. because they're going to be frustrated that they're not getting a reaction out of you. And that applies to so many things. So the more we find ways to not react to people who are trying to get us to react, the more they're going to see that, and maybe they're even going to change for themselves. And even if they don't, your perception of it, your perspective of it has changed, so it's not going to affect you anymore.
Yeah. I think keeping in mind too what we talked about a little bit before the episode started was about reacting versus responding. And thinking before you speak. It gives you time to observe what's happening and what's being said, and then you can learn how to respond appropriately. Instead of reacting, which would be like an instant,
an impulse of reaction. Yeah.
Instead of allowing yourself to just be like, I'm going to react to this, you have to take that time to separate yourself from it, observe what's going on, and then respond appropriately. And I feel like the more we all practice that, the better the world will be, because then we're being more mindful of the way that we are communicating with one another. And I feel like that's really important. If we want peace and we want harmony, we need to work on our communication skills. We need to work on making sure that what we're saying is encouraging, uplifting, and positive. Even if it's something that we feel the other person has to work on, it should be encouraging. Instead of saying, you're terrible at that, we need to say, hey, why don't we think about it this way, and maybe we can work on this part or whatever. And you'll see, like, people's performance in every aspect of whatever it is that you're talking about, it will be better. So
absolutely better.
That's how we really can be, better with our communication. Remove yourself from the situation, kind of like take a step back from it, observe what's happening, and then respond appropriately. And
yes,
we all have to practice this. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I do this every day perfect, but I do try.
No,
and I have noticed.
But we're being mindful of it.
I do try, and I have noticed that in my interactions, the more that I allow myself to just observe and then respond, and sometimes it doesn't even require a response. Sometimes it's just observe what's happening, think about what can you honestly do to change the situation, and do. And,
exactly.
Be that positive person for other people. Be the uplifting person. Don't try to, change what the negative people are doing necessarily. Just be the good example.
Be the good example, because you can't change people.
You can't change
really
people.
Can't.
They're just going to be trolls if they're going to be trolls. They're going to do what they're going to do. So we need to think about that. Just lead by example. Be that positive person for other people that you want in your life, right? So whatever you want in your life, you need to be that for other people. But you need to be that for yourself first.
Yes, 100%. David and I were talking this week about being, thinking before you speak. He was talking about some friends of his that he really admires, and he noticed that sometimes when they have a conversation, one friend in particular, he pauses a lot. And at first, David didn't realize why he was doing that. And he's like, it's because he's articulating his thoughts and making sure that he's using the right words and being mindful of what he's saying. And I noticed that David is doing that more.
Yeah.
And he's like, at first, it's a little weird. You're like, what are you waiting for? Why don't you just spit it out? Which is me. I'm like, blah. I like to just go, 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 go. And I need to slow down.
We all do. We all need to slow down.
Think before I speak. Just take a minute, take a deep breath, especially if you're in an argument. I've been fortunate enough to not have too many arguments lately. I don't know if it's because we're all kind of cooped up in the house, but you would think there'd be more arguments. Everything's been pretty copacetic at my house lately.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, there with adult kids, there's sometimes arguments, and I'm guilty of quickly and reacting and getting upset. So I've been trying to practice not doing that and just having patience, and also focusing on, is that really that important? Is that really that big of a deal? You know, what's the big deal?
Yeah,
What's
and
worth
I
arguing
think
over?
being more understanding of one another and accepting people for who they are and where they are, like consciously at the moment in time that we're interacting with them. Good morning, Tiffany DeLong. How are you? I hope that you're having a great
Tiff,
day.
oh, I love you, Tiff. Hi. I know. I was just noticing I have comments. I'm
Oh,
blind, y'all. I can't
no.
see at all. So I'm like trying to read these comments on my
Yeah, read
computer.
the comments. Let's pay
Okay,
attention to
so
that for a second.
I see that Jerome has said hello. Hi,
Hi,
Jerome.
Jerome.
And Sharon. Hi,
Hi,
Sharon.
Sharon.
What's up? And Jerome says demons are fears and insecurities for sure. Absolutely. Like,
Yeah, definitely
that's
they stem
where a
from
lot of it stemmed
insecurity.
from that.
Yeah, they stem from insecurity, but they, like in my experience and from my perspective, demons are things that are negative that people use to get what they want, or, you know, things like that. Like manipulation is a demon. So, like, people who use manipulative tactics to get what they want, they're using that demon to manipulate people, and it's all negative. And instead of
All
being like
negative.
that, we can focus on, you know, just live your truth, be authentic to yourself. Everyone needs to find their self, and it's hard for some people because they're scared. There's a lot of people who
They're
are
afraid of
they're afraid of their own thoughts.
they're afraid of what other people think. I mean, okay. Like, I love to color my hair and I haven't done it in a long time. And you know, I've had people say, "You're a little too old to be doing that," or whatever. And I'm like, says who? Says who? And you know, there's, like you said, there's a perception in the world that you have to be a certain way, especially if you're a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I battle with that. Yeah, you should be a good example to your kids with how you project yourself in the world. So I don't know. That's a tricky subject because um remember when, was it on like Sally Jesse Raphael, those talk shows, right? The kids would bring their mom on the show because she was dressing like she was like 15, and they're like, she's embarrassing me and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't like the person that their mom was projecting. I mean, I was so torn about those episodes because I was like,
Oh
well, she's
man,
happy.
leave
She's
her
happy.
alone.
Leave her alone. She's fine. But I understand being like a young kid and you're like, dude, that's my mom. She's embarrassing me, whatever. But she's only embarrassing them because they're worrying about what other people think of them.
Yeah,
And I don't know.
it doesn't
Just,
matter. It's just one of those things where you have to live and let live. You know, like, come on, guys.
I mean, I'm not going to go out there and, I don't know. I'm not going to go dress like I'm 12. That's my own thing, you know. But if you want to, by all means, have fun.
Arlene
Um,
says it's usually about control too. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, always.
Control. Those are I think what she was referring to was the demon conversation about how manipulation and trying to get what you want, and she said it's about control too. Yes, it's 100%.
The power trip, man. You know,
It's thinking that you
people.
have control over someone else and you thriving on it. And that is what we all need to let go of in every aspect of our life, because when we try to do that to other people, we're like exerting that power over someone else's life to a certain extent. And if you let go of your desire to control, then you're letting go of a demon that, you know, you don't even realize is controlling you, and it's making all of your interactions negative.
Comes back to worry and all that. Like, worry is not productive at all. You
No.
can't do anything. There's a lot of things out of our control, and you can't do anything to change some things. And we need to just let it go.
Let it all go.
Let it go. everything's going to work out. You
Mhm.
know, if you're doing everything that you can to make things good or do good for yourself and by others, it's all going to be fine. I mean, I know most of us are worrying about how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? What's the worst that's going to happen? I really,
I think about it like this. Like, and I know this is going to sound dramatic or unrealistic to some people, but even if I was homeless, I would still be happy. I would still be okay because I feel like there's a lot of people who go through this world not having a big old house and not having a car, and they make it along just fine, and they
that's
find
fine.
their happiness where they can find their happiness, just like us. And it's like, you got we have to put ourselves into other people's shoes a little bit and really try to think about life from other people's perspectives. And you know, and communicating to those people can help with that. Like, I know I don't want to get too much onto that subject, but definitely,
No,
I
it's
think the
so
most
good though.
important point of this podcast today was, you know, tuning yourself to positivity, leading by example, be that person that you want in your life, be that for other people, but you have to find it in yourself first. You have to definitely tune yourself first. And
And tune out
yeah,
all that noise. Close
take
that
the
noise
time for
out.
meditation. Oh, which that reminds me, I wanted to tell you guys, I didn't even know that this website existed, but my dad, he told me about it this morning. I have always heard of Ram Dass. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of him, but so Ram Dass is a very enlightened being, and I feel like we're all, blessed if we listen to some of the things that he teaches. And so he's kind of like a guru, but ramdas.org, I put it in the description of this episode. There's a lot of really good material on that website for you to look into if you're struggling with like learning how to meditate or things like that. He's got a lot of resources on there, so I really wanted to bring that to light. Definitely check it out, because I know that there's several of my friends who've asked me, like, I don't even know how to meditate, blah, blah, blah. I can try to help you with that. Oh, your mic cut out for me.
Oh no,
Oh,
I
there it
said
goes.
I'm one of them.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
So, yeah, there's some people who struggle to meditate and struggle to get to that quiet, like, peaceful place. And so, like, I can try to help you, but why reinvent the wheel when it already exists, right? So ramdas.org, there's a lot of really good resources, material, things to read, and really take to heart and be mindful of what they're saying, and it'll help you. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there, but I don't want to go too over time. Did you?
We're good.
Yeah.
I
So.
just had to. I had people commenting, and
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of comments. Hold on, I'm looking. Oh yeah, for sure. So Leon says, "Slow down and be you." Heck yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Leon.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then, Jerome was talking about energy vampires, and yeah, like negative energy vampires, they really do suck a lot of the energy. A lot of the negative stuff takes over, and we got to find a way to push that away.
Yeah.
Get it away.
Robert Alvarez says he highly recommends Be Here Now by Ram Dass. So yes.
Oh, cool.
Definitely check him out. It's great material. That's all I can say.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Renee says, "You can't run. Why can't you run the dishwasher twice?" Rules people put on themselves. Yes, it causes stress for sure. You were talking about putting the invisible roof above your head, like David had quoted that Matthew McConaughey quote about taking the roof off and take the roof that we put on ourselves.
The limit does not exist. And it always reminds me of that line in Mean Girls, the limit does not exist.
The limit
when they're doing that math leets or whatever. Yeah, so I don't know if any of you who are watching has watched that movie, but every time I think about people putting rules on other people or saying you can or can't do something, it's like no, the limit does not exist. We are only limited by the things that we put on ourselves. There's no rules. Like, live authentically to yourself. Recognize your freedom because it's there. If you really will allow yourself, just blow the lid off all the boxes and be free. Don't put yourself into boxes. Don't let society or the government or people put you into boxes, because that is what limits you. You're allowing that to happen to yourself. So blow the lid off all the boxes. Recognize that there is no limit. You are a limitless celestial spirit being, and you are free to create whatever life you want to create for yourself. And let's make it a positive one. That's all I have to say.
I love it. And that's 100% why we're doing this, so that we can open up those conversations to talk about these things and to remind each other, us included, us and everyone who's watching, just do your thing. Be you. Live your life. Live your best life. As my friend Amy always tells me, live your best life, girl. And I'm like, she's right. Live your best life. Be positive. Be happy. And it's always now.
Yep.
You don't have to wait. There's no wait. You do it today. Do it right this minute. Don't wait.
Go outside. Let the sun shine upon your face. Have that grateful heart. Allow that love to flow through you, and just be happy in that moment and recognize that moment for what it really is. All of the things about it. What is that moment? It's peace, it's warmth, it's love, and that moment is always now if you allow it to be.
I love it. This has been great. I'm so glad that we discussed this today. It was really heavy on my mind, so I'm glad we got to chat it out. And we do this every Wednesday, you guys. Every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 a.m. here in Hawaii, and many different times all over the place. I try to list all the time zones. I'm like, your time zones, people. If you need to know, like, just message us. We'll tell you what time we're on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay because we have it on Facebook and on YouTube.
And we do some silly videos on Fridays.
Yes, Far Out Friday.
Far Out Friday.
Far Out Friday is my favorite. We can't be serious all the time. We're serious a lot. Like, this is a very serious conversation we're having today, and Jessica and I like to break it up with some fun. So on Fridays we do
goofy.
Far Out Friday. Like this week we're talking about the mysterious monoliths, the monoliths that are appearing all over the world, and it's, some people are like, oh, whatever, but it's kind of fun and kind of fascinating. And even if it's, oh, my thing's really loud. Even if it's like a myth or fake or whatever,
it's still fun.
It's so fun, and I'm kind of excited to dive into it. So be sure to check that out on Friday. I try to edit and release it as early on Friday as I can. I know there's a time difference, so my early is kind of late for a lot of people, but I try. So but we'll let you guys go because it's time to go.
It's time for us to go, but we definitely love you guys, and we want you to know that, like, don't question it. We've got nothing but love for everyone, and
everybody.
I have been working on, trying to learn that editing software on my end. So hopefully soon I'll have videos out for Sundays. But
you'll get it. It's all good. Don't rush, baby girl.
It's okay.
It'll be amazing. It'll be good when it happens. I know I've had a video I want to do for weeks and I haven't done it yet. So I just gotta do it. But
all right.
We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Check us out on Friday. Love you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.